So 2 is already prime, I can't break that down, so I'm going to leave it like it is. But 52, it's an even number. So anytime you have an even number, we know at least 2 goes into it. So 52 divided by 2 is 26. So that means 2 times 26 equals 52. Oh, we got another even number. So the 2's are good. So 2 times 2. But then we got to break down this 26. I know that 26 divided by 2 is 13. So 2 times 13. And now I can no longer break down these numbers. They are all prime numbers. So I'm going to circle my pair. One of those 2's goes away, the other one comes out. So I'm going to have a 2 on the outside, and then on the inside, whatever is not circled will stay in there. So 2 times 13. So 2 root 26 is my final answer. So moving down here. So I got 5 more examples. So this time we already have a number on the outside, so that's just going to stay outside. So what 2 numbers multiplied equal 40? Well, I know 4 times 10. So I can break down both of those. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 2 is 10. So now notice we cannot factor any of these numbers anymore. So I'm going to circle the pair. One goes away, the other one comes out. These 2 do not have a match, so they stay in. So I'm going to have 3 already on the outside, and then there's going to be a times 2 out there now. 5 times 2 stays on the inside, so 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10, so that is my final answer. Now the next one, so I have a 7 on the outside this time, and then 36. So I know that 6 times 6 is 36. So this one's quick. So I got a pair of 6's. One goes away, the other one comes out. So there's nothing that's not circled in here. So that means that I'm not going to have anything in the radical, so I don't need to draw the radical sign in anymore. So I'm just going to have 7 times 6, which is 42. So that was nice. All right, so now we have a radical times a radical. So when we are multiplying 2 numbers that are inside of a radical, another way to write this is the square root of 3 times 20, all under the same sign. So these 2 things are the same thing. You're going to need to know that, so that's important. So now what I want to do, I don't want to multiply these because then I'm just going to have to break it down anyway. So I'm just going to leave 3 there because I cannot factor 3. But can we factor, or can we break down 20? Well, I know 4 times 5 is 20. And I know 4 is 2 times 2. We still have that 5 there. So now I can no longer factor or break down any of these numbers. So I'm going to circle the pair. One of those 2's goes away, the other one comes out. So I have 2 times the square root of 3 times 5. 3 times 5, whoops. 3 times 5 is 15. All right, so last 2 examples here. This time we have 4 root 5 times 3 root 15. So whenever you're multiplying numbers, it does not matter what order you multiply them in. So what I like to do is I like to keep the whole numbers together because you can only multiply whole numbers times whole numbers. You can never multiply a whole number times whatever's inside. So whatever's outside and whatever's inside, you can't combine them. So 4 times 3, and then I'm going to multiply the square root. So square root of 5 times the square root of 15. 4 times 3 is 12. So like we did on the last one, anytime you have a square root times a square root, you can just write both of those numbers inside. So 5 times the square root of 15, or square root of 5 times 15. So again, we don't want to multiply these 2 things because we're trying to factor them. We're trying to break them down. We're trying to find a pair. So if I multiply these right now, then I just have to break it down again. So I just cause myself more work. So 5 times, if I break down 15 or if I factor 15, what 2 numbers multiplied equal 15? Well, 3 and 5. So can we factor any of these numbers? No, we cannot. So that means we just need to find any pair. So we do have a pair of 5s. One goes away, the other one comes on the outside. So there's already a 12 on the outside. So now whatever number comes out, I'm going to multiply by that 12. So 5 times 12. The 3 was not circled, so 3 stays in there. So 12 times 5 is 60. We still have root 3. So 60 root 3 is your answer. And then finally, we have 5, the quantity, 5 root 6 all squared. So anytime we got an exponent around parentheses, I'm going to distribute that exponent. So 5 squared times the square root of 6 squared. So 5 squared is 25. Square root of 6 squared just means square root of 6 times square root of 6. Another way to write that is like this. So we got a pair of 6's, one comes out, the other one goes away. So 25 times 6. So our answer would be 150.